Hi, Dyslexia Genius here. I'm back on the Victor R, the motor, and I'm working on the castings and cleaning them, and I've cleaned this casting. But what arises on this casting is you have this screw and nut, and then we have this drive gear that fits in here like that, which runs on the spindle shaft gear here, like this. So in assembly of these, you adjust this like this. And if you go back to my first video on the motor, you'll see this gears popping back and forth. And there's a reason why that's the way. So what we're going to do is first you need a tap. This is a 1032 thread, but I never ever take anything for granted. I always check the threads. And I have made these things, and I have other thread checkers. And I figured out that this was a 1032. You don't want to tap and find out, oops, I did it in a 440 and not a 1032. So what I did first was I ran the tap through this side and I cleaned out the threads, and you can see all the dirt and grime and stuff. Because if you don't clean out the threads inside here, this screw is not going to be being able to find it just for yourself. So that has to be done. The other thing that has to be done is I took a Q-tip, I drowned both ends in WD-40, WD-40, and I stuck it in this side, and I cleaned everything out after I had tapped. So after you've tapped, now what we have is a dry hole with no oil lubrication, and you should be able to come in here and this thing should screw in like it's sliding down the street on a cube of butter. It should be really smooth. Why is that? Because this gear is going to come in here like this, and you watch. Oh, look at the gears moving out. See this? The gap? We'll back it off a little. Because on assembly, this gear is going to run into this gear. And there's a critical spacing in here. And it's all done with this screw and this nut. And this is what has to be done on the motors to make them run well. The other thing is, I took the nut and some 600 grit sandpaper, and I sanded around in a circle a little. And I got this flat to get any burrs off, because I want it to mate up so it mates up nicely on this casting. If there's a little burr or something, it's going to jerk the thread in and out when you tighten this down. That sets off this gear into the spacing of this gear. And this is critical on these early Victors like this, that you have this way it's done, tap everything out. And I hope you enjoyed the videos, and that's my tip for the day.